Welcome back to the Cold Start Corner, your source for the practice launchpad to bring that practice ownership vision to reality. I'm Eric Matei, and in this episode, we are moving forward exploring your office location and build out, which is the starting point for phase 2, or this development phase of your practice. So you'll recall we started all this in phase 1, really laying down that good solid foundation for your business. So it was all around that financial forecast and feasibility analysis and that strategic business plan. Again, identifying the vision, quantifying that vision, and creating the blueprints for how you're going to bring that vision to reality. Here in phase 2, the development phase, we kick it off with an exploration of office location and build out. Now, why is that? Well, that's because this office location and build out is going to be, for many practices, the single largest startup expense, right? That being the renovation, the build out of the space. And also pretty significant expense when we look at occupancy and rents over the lifetime of that 10-year, what's typically a 10-year lease. You'll notice, again, this is a really big decision, your office location and build out. So this is really all about finding that ideal location suited to your vision, budget, and goals. So in the last episode, we were talking about all things budget management for your build out. And now we're getting into a bit more of that optimization of the location. It revolves around two things. And this is where we're going to dig into demographic and competitive analyses. So why is this important, right? Well, look, our viewers out there may share one thing in common, and that is that everyone is excited to cold start or purchase a practice. But what is different is everyone's own unique vision on what they want to do. So it's really important to understand and to give due diligence to selecting that optimal location that's going to have folks in the community that are going to be most attracted to what you're offering, right? Because we know that the vast majority of patients that are going to be coming into your practice are going to live within 5 miles of your office. So again, all the more reason to really understand the demographics of what's going on in that community and also that competitive presence. So what do I mean when we're referring to demographics? Now, obviously, there are so many variables that we can look at, but we really want to kind of simplify. And we boil it down to 4 key areas that we want to assess when going through that quantitative and qualitative geo-spatial analysis for that optimal placement. And it's going to start with this. It's going to start with household income and property values. Now, this is something that will vary radically by market and will also vary based on exactly what your vision is. So the more in touch you can be with the vision of your practice, the scope of care materials you want to work with, that's where you're going to start to kind of find some of these parallels to the demographics of the patients you will be attracting. And again, household income and property value is a really, really valuable starting point. From there, you're also going to want to get into insurance research. Now, mind you, this will not be applicable to everyone. If your vision is to be direct pay, cash pay, all elective services with no managed care, this won't play quite as much a role. Actually, it really won't play a role. But if you are looking to accept any sort of managed care, whether that's medical insurances or commercial vision care plans, understanding who the largest employers are in your community and which insurances and vision plans they are providing for their employees, that's going to be vital, right? To be sure that you're getting credentialed with the right panels so that you can attract those patients into your practice. Again, assuming you want to go that route. By the way, if you don't want to go that route, hit us up because we got a whole world regarding how to grow a thriving, sustainable, profitable practice outside of managed care. But if you are going to be collecting, taking insurances, be sure you do really have a good understanding of exactly which insurances are most prevalent in your community. Okay, so we've touched on household income and property values. We've touched on insurance research. Next up is going to be traffic patterns, right? Really understanding kind of the pulse of what's going on in that area. Because quite frankly, there can be a lot of determinants as it pertains to this, and a lot of variables that play into this that can have a direct impact on your accessibility in the community, as well as your visibility out there. Then the fourth and final, and again, this is not at all an exhaustive list. This is a simplified list. But a fourth key consideration, and this is something that's sometimes overlooked, and that is local economic trends, right? So what I mean by that is, and really this kind of points back up here to household income and property values. Have a really good understanding of what's going on in the local economy, right? And particularly the movement, right? So a perfect case in point, when we look at household income, is household income growing or is household income on the decline? Similar with property values. Are property values going up or are they on decline? Get a really good understanding of this, because understand in picking the ideal location for your vision, budget, and goals, realize you're probably going to be signing a 10-year lease. At the very least, you're signing a 5-year lease, but oftentimes it's a 10-year lease. So you really want to feel confident as far as what is going on in this area, these local economic trends, and what's that trajectory going to look like here into the future. So we touched on here a bit around the demographic analyses that go into this geospatial optimization of your location. So from here, let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the competitive analysis. Now, look, the competitive analysis, quite frankly, I suppose for as daunting as the demographic analysis can get into, the competitive analysis is well, it's a lot simpler, right? Because now in this day and age, thanks to location services, you could probably do some pretty thorough competitive analysis right there from your phone. But that being said, competitive analysis is really all about evaluating that local competitive presence within that geographical area. So remember what I said a little while ago, vast majority of your patients are going to be coming from within about a 5-mile radius of your practice. Now this does vary if you're in an urban inner city area versus more rural area. There are some variables here, but nonetheless, competitive analysis is all about really understanding that local competitive presence. And this is going to include the local competitive presence across private practices. Additionally, corporate and commercial offices and other hospital and medical providers, right? So sometimes when we're talking about competitive analysis, there's this direct, we're just going to look at private practices, or we're just going to look at, the corporate or commercial presence, what have you. But it really is important to understand that competitive presence that is going to present either direct competition or a substitute for what you're going to present and share in your vision. What is your value proposition? So, we tie this all together. Again, we're talking about optimizing, finding that ideal location for your office and really optimizing the office location and build out. Demographic analysis and competitive analysis, invaluable to optimizing exactly where that location is going to be. Hey, look, if you got questions for us, go ahead and email us, contact@akrinos.com. If you're viewing this on the socials or at our YouTube channel, please do leave some comments. And look, follow along the Cold Start Corner at Akrinos.com. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel for up-to-date relevant content like this, and follow us on the socials. So wherever you are and at whatever point you are in your cold start journey, we are wishing you all the best. And stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to take these next steps into helping you optimize that office location and build out. From all of us here at Akrinos, I'm Eric Matei, signing off.